If God Almighty is willing, she will be 33 years old December of this year. She has been blessed with the gift of poetry since childhood. In the past 2 years, she's taken an immense interest in the art of deep poetry and spoken word. She feels that all the different styles each poet brings is what makes the art so beautiful. Through the knowledge of God Almighty, she strongly feels it is her calling to take on a style that encourages, uplifts, empowers, and bring about a positive change in one's life as well as her own. To embrace this art, whether teaching it, writing it, performing it, or just simply lending it an ear, one is to be considered unique. A part of an elite, grown and sexy crowd, and as sure as the name, she promised to poet out and wet you with poetic showers of motivation. I give you Lady Poet.
Let's take away the blindfolds he placed over our eyes. We can't walk around blindfolded in these streets. When individually and as a whole will that devil we defeat? As black as the lacquer of an authentic antique Chinese piece are the clouds of his deceit. Understand, on a solid concrete foundation your feet don't stand. There's so many cracks in the pavement. 1865 13th Amendment ratified, still we suffer enslavement. I'm talking hand-picked wrappings of personal bondage. Out 5 main sources Satan uses to hold us hostage. Music, the kind unlike the days of old, no longer love but a message of destruction being told. Bodies doing the fornication and adultery grind. And tonight might be my last, so I'm gonna get drunk off this wine. And you ain't nothing without a nice home bling and a fancy car to shine. Sex, bodies running rampant filled with lust. Sexual escapades ending by venereal diseases and such. Ones as HIV and AIDS and souls back to dust. Drugs, fun till it becomes the Calgon that takes you away. Codependent, hunting it every day. Then comes the stressing which leads to depression. Idled minds, haven't you heard? The devil's playground. Inside abandoned buildings, overdosed bodies being found. Money, the source to get everything previously mentioned, known to bring power, fame, and attention. So many lives lost due to it, I must mention. The root of all evil, I could go on and on about the pains of that almighty dollar, but oh, it just makes me wanna holler, throw up both my hands. Crowd, I'm feeling that. Won't y'all sing it for me one more again? This last source I mentioned unjustly dominates our lands, government, disrespecting the Old and New Testament. Election season, wondering my reason for not rushing to the polls. I tried, I almost died self-lynching. I almost hung myself with that rope. I walked away saying God Almighty gets my vote. Provoked to strive only for their system of education, but I say much more needed is the knowledge from Genesis through Revelations. Situations, I'm talking Monica, still standing in trials and tribulations. And they tell me unusual weather's due to global warming. I'm seeing foretold prophecies fulfilled. Take heed to the warnings. Or like the tragedy of Katrina, although many survived the flood waters, it was as if they still drowned, because they lost their souls to the pestilence and violence in the town. I found, like John Q, you got to fight to have heart, because Satan be the surgeon performing the unwanted triple bypass, trying to tear it apart. And I'd rather take a stand like Will in 7 pounds. If I give it up so freely, it be so unworthy can stay round. On certain grounds, he built his shelter, saying any destruction it could withstand. Claimed the end of the world was coming. False for us, but true for the souls lost up in Joplin. Understand that could have been me, better yet we. So let's begin to think and act differently. As Shakespeare once said, so every bondman in his own hand bears the power to cancel his captivity. I begin praying profoundly. Invisible hands begin unwrapping, loosening the bondage on me. See, I'm trying to be in the book of God's memory, memories. I guess upon resurrection and judgment I'll see. Until then, I shout out a piece from a song that lingers inside me. I wanna be free from this world's hypocrisy.